And joining us here today on our Eye on Terre Haute is Mayor Duke Bennett. Thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here.
Of course. And today I want to talk about a few of our viewers have written in and we listened to them and they asked us about the traffic picking up, I guess, with trains coming through town. We had mentioned before that actually might double. Is this true? And are we doing anything about it?
Well, a couple of years ago, we put a railroad committee together made up of 60 people from our community and including the railroads to figure out how we're going to deal with all these issues that we have today. During that process, we found out from CSX specifically that they intend to increase the amount of trains that come through Terre Haute over the next roughly 10 to 15 years. They told us probably in that 12 to 13 year time range that we'll probably have twice as many trains coming through Terre Haute. So that makes it even more important to do something about that. And so we plan on and continue to plan on overpasses and underpasses in several places throughout the city. But they're going to be expensive. So the one we're working on right now is at 19th and Margaret. That was clearly that's where our biggest problem is.
Okay.
It's about a $20 million project and we are in the design phase right now, soon to be going into property acquisition phase and working on the last little piece of funding for that. We hope to open that overpass in about 4 years. And so that'll help address that south end. Then over the coming years, we'll have to determine some other locations because we've got to be able to get around the trains, over them or under them, and not, think what it is today. If it's twice as bad, that's going to be a real issue for us. So we're going to have to deal with that. And it's kind of over time, nothing's really been done on it. Now we're finally moving.
And some people might ask, $20 million, that's a lot of money, and people have been talking about the budget. Do they need to be concerned about the $20 million? Is this coming from a different fund?
Yeah, different funds. It doesn't have anything to do with the property tax money at all. We don't use any property tax dollars for projects like that. What's more difficult these days, there's no earmarks anymore from Congress. And so that's how in the past communities paid for things like that. Since that doesn't exist anymore, we have to use a lot of local dollars. We'll probably borrow a little bit of money to make it happen, but it'll be well worth it. It won't have any bearing on our budget at all. We'll be able to fund that with no problem.
Okay, and keeping on the topic of construction, a lot of people have been talking about Wabash Avenue. 25th finally opened back up. How did that project go?
It went really well. You always run into a few things. We had to fix some drainage issues out there. We had to do some sidewalk and curb improvements, so it's not just paving. We got all the old railroad ties torn out of there.
You found some?
Yeah, absolutely. I know the media came out. You guys were there specifically and showed the community that was all still there. There weren't any rails, but everything else was still there. And that's all been removed and then rebuilt and then resurfaced. And so they're finishing that up now. It's pretty much done and open to the public, and that was a big project. Next year, then we'll do Brown out to Fruit Ridge. We'll do that next section. It's got the same issue, and we'll get that stretch completed. And
to finish up Wabash, you said you just have to do some striping, some painting to make it complete.
And so the temperature needs to be right, needs to be dry. We'll get that finished very, very soon.
Okay. And the other thing everyone loves to talk about this time of year is it's starting to rain, the leaves are starting to fall, leaf pickup.
Yep, we're doing that again. We should be able to do this from here on out. I don't think we're going to have that discussion of not doing it in the future. So all the listeners out there,
we talk about that every year.
I know we do, and it was the budget. It was just those property tax caps. We didn't know if we'd be able to have the manpower to do it, but I think we're kind of through that now. I believe we're going to be able to keep it. We're still only able to make one pass. We only have 30 people, and it's going to take us about 2 months to do this, and we won't be able to do anything else except leaf pickup. But we'll get started next week, and starting on the north end, watch the news, watch the newspaper. We'll list the exact sections that we're doing each week and just get the leaves out to the tree row for us, in the tree row, not in the street, and we will get them all picked up.
Yeah, they appreciate if you don't clog them. You also are giving out free bags too. You can pick those up at City Hall.
Yep, City Hall, the fire stations, or the wastewater treatment plant. We have free leaf bags, and you set those right next to your trash can. Republic will pick those up.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks for stopping by. Lots of good things to talk about today.
Absolutely.
All right, News 10, we'll be right back.